All right, guys. So I talked about the Trino that I picked up, that my wife and I picked up. We started looking through things. This is a Gen 3 Coyote crate engine. I'm still debating what I really want to do with it. And then I did some looking. This is a 10R80. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I'm starting to go through boxes that came with the car. And I started digging through all this. So it's got like all the air intake stuff. And I pulled all this out. More air intake ducting, throttle pedal, O2 sensors that have never been installed. They still have the anti-seize on the threads. They look like they've never been installed. I'm guessing this here is a shifter cable. But that looks a little bit used. I'm guessing it came with that transmission. It's got like an F-150 4x2 sticker on the side of it. And this all came with the car. Control pack wiring harness. Here, transmission harness. Here, I open up the box. I don't know if this has been used or not. It looks like it's pretty well packaged yet, but that's the Ford Control Pack ECU. So, like I said, I don't know if it's been opened or used, but to me it looks like it's been pretty well sealed up. Maybe it has been used, but all these wires, maybe this has been opened and resealed, but I don't know, it's bundled up pretty good, like it's never been used. So I'm pretty excited about all this. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of beside myself right now with all the stuff here that it looks like it's new, and at least it looks like it's never been used or plugged in or anything. I might unpackage this a little more and see. But I don't know, pretty stoked about this. So still debating if that Gen 3 engine there is going to go on the Trino or if it's going to get repurposed for Werewolf. All right, ladies and gents, feeling pretty good about coming to a decision. So again, this is the Gen 3 crate engine and a used 10R80. At least that's what I believe it to be, since it's out of an F-150 4x2. But I'll look the part number up later. And then over there in some boxes, I actually have two control packs. So this one just says 18 through 21 Coyote control pack. I'll have to look up those part numbers later, but I think that one's for a manual transmission. That one's for an automatic 10-speed transmission, I believe. So I'll look those parts up later and make sure that's what they are. But feeling pretty good about a decision to keep this paired up with the 72 Torino. So with that being said, Barney and I have come to the conclusion, well, at least for now, we're going to stick with the Gen 1 truck engine in the Werewolf here. But I do want to do something with it. I don't know if I want to upgrade this truck engine to Mustang cams and do all that, or if I just want to go and find a Gen 2 Mustang engine to plop in here. I did reach out to Holly, so I had a gentleman named Matthew reach back out to me from their tech support, so thanks, Matthew. Some really good information. So the Terminator X that I have in there will work with a Gen 1 or a Gen 2 Coyote engine. So that's why I'm kind of leaning that way. It'd be nicer to have kind of that better breathing engine, have the cams in there. I wanted to go to the Mustang cams in here anyway. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is start keeping my eyes out over the winter for a Gen 2 engine, see if I can find a deal on one. So if anyone knows of one, let me know, especially if it's local to the Minnesota area, around the Twin Cities area, and I can run and go pick it up. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to get this guy on the jack stand and then find a spot to tuck that transmission away so it's at least out of the way for the winter. All right, so we got the engine up off of the floor, off of its little cradle it was sitting in. on an engine stand. Got the transmission just kind of pushed out of the way here. Got boxes there with control packs in them. But I know they had mentioned that they thought this thing might have been run without oil pressure, and they looked at some of the stuff. So I thought I'd pull the cam covers off because I had the day off, and I thought I'd just dink around with this a little bit before getting to Werewolf here. But this one right here, I didn't unbolt the rear ones or the front ones, but I did unbolt all the rest of the cam journals. And this one looks like the worst one. You can almost catch your thumbnail in it. So you can see marks there on the cam journal itself, cap, and the camshaft there. That's the worst one. Don't worry, I got the bolts sitting up there. And like the one next to it, looks pretty good. In general, this one here has a little bit of a line on it up towards the front, near the front side of the engine, facing the front of the engine. Then some of them look nice and clean. This one's got maybe some light marring on it. But then there's some like on this side of the engine that are just look spotless. That one's got a couple little marks on it. Some marks on it, but not bad. And like the cam looks really good. So I'm wondering if this is something where we can just get some of these caps polished out and the journal surfaces there on the cams polished up a little bit, and have at least have a decent cam set in here. I do want to get the spark plugs pulled and get a bore scope down in there. And I do want to pull the pan, get that flipped over, and maybe pull a couple of rod caps or a main cap or something. But I don't know how much I want to dig into it, just because I expect probably a lot of those, I suppose, for the crankshaft anyway, are torque to yield. So I'll be replacing a whole set of bolts if I do that, I'm guessing. But I did just do this real quick this afternoon just to kind of see what I'm dealing with. I do feel a little bit better now after having looked at it here. So I think we have a... Yeah. I'm gonna have to talk to a reputable machine shop and see what can be done with all of this. I think when I do get to that point, I probably will pull everything off, replace the oil pump gears and all that stuff. So everything will have to come apart anyway. And especially to get these heads cleaned up and everything. But at least I have an idea of what I'm dealing with here. And then I think I'm going to get back to doing body work on Werewolf. Right, Barney?